Welcome to the Women's National League Wrap for Series 3. I'm joined with Alanna and Seana again this week. We've got a few games to get through, so I'm going to start off with Cork City versus Sligo Rovers. It was a 2-1 victory for Sligo and their first WNL win since entering the league this season. Alanna, it really was the perfect time for them to get their win under their belt, really.
Yeah, definitely. I'm delighted for them, really. I think as an unknown quantity, as a new team, there's always an expectation that it is going to be tough. And I don't think anyone's swaying from that just yet. But I don't think you have to be optimistic for them, because it was a great performance as well. And it's brilliant for them. I'm sure they'd like to prove everyone wrong in their predictions. So maybe it's even a motivating factor. But yeah, they were on another level there at the weekend. Sample as well, I think, was really good against her old club. The McGuinness goal, it's on all the highlight reels now at this stage. But yeah, brilliantly struck, and you can see exactly what it meant to them too. All the players running up their first Women's National League goal, Doherty then supplementing, and even though the Seaward goal conceded, they didn't get the clean sheet, but it didn't put a dampener on it. You can just see, as I said, how much it meant to them, and the first Women's National League win. I'm sure they'll be hoping for many more.
Yeah, exactly. I thought it was a great time for them to get the win, 3 games in. It's great positivity for Sligo there. Moving on to Pima now against Treaty United. Seana, another emphatic win for Pima, 5-1. What players really stood out to you at the weekend?
Yeah, look, I don't think anybody expected any different result in terms of the form that they're in, but I mean, it's like Anya and Steph just make a decision who's going to go for top goal scorer at the start of this year, isn't it? It's getting to that stage. But I think what's great is the goals are coming from all over the pitch now. Last year we seen it kind of condensed to Anya and Eleanor, and now we're seeing they've got threats everywhere. But I think Jetta Burrell was very impressive and has been impressive since signing for them. She's a very good player. I was fortunate to play alongside her, and bundles of energy, very hard to defend against, and just a great attitude. I think they had a 17-year-old O'Hanlon made her debut as well, so that was excellent to see. But all in all, I think a very good performance all around. I think I've seen the likes of Anya and Karen again, consistently performing in the games, and it's great to see Steph, especially last year. She kind of had, I suppose, a bit of a difficult season for her, but this season seems like she's just got a bit of fire in her belly. And again, from knowing Steph a long time, I'm delighted to see she impressed me.
Yeah, it was really a brilliant performance at Pearl Park. And over at Eamon DC Park, it was a 1-1 draw against Galway DLR Waves. Alanna, was it the result you expected, considering, the two sides are similar in a sense?
Yeah, I suppose kind of in a way it was, because everyone was kind of anticipating them to be battling out against each other. But I suppose in that same regard, ironically, you could say a draw, while it's the best of both worlds for both sides, it probably suits none of them in the long run, because they're looking for those kind of points off each other if they are going to battle for those kind of top 3. So it's a bit ironic in that way, because while it may have been the fairest result, I'd say neither of them were happy to come away with it from that. But Sarah McKevitt was on fire once, and worryingly for Galway as well, Savannah had to come off injured, so hopefully that's not too serious. And obviously Julianne and Lindsay McKee were linking up exceptionally well again. So yeah, Galway nearly nipped it at the end, but yeah, I think Emma, overall a fair result. But as I say, maybe the draw kept both camps happy, but mightn't be advantageous in the long run.
Yeah. And then over in Athlone Town Stadium, Shelburne beat Athlone 2-0. A solid performance for Shell. Seana, what did you make of the game overall?
Yeah, it was a vast improvement on their previous game. I just thought they played with a lot of tempo. It was just a lot of creativity. I think a more common popular Shell's performance. Even on Twitter I was reading a lot of people were a lot happier, I think, fans with what they seen. You could see that they gave Athlone the respect they deserved. They didn't kind of sit off and just expect that Athlone would make mistakes and lose the ball. In terms of Shell's defending, every time the likes of Roisin Malloy or Gillian Keenan got on the ball, they were very quick to close it down. just tried to kind of sniff out that threat really early on. And there was, I think, a few occasions I counted Chelsea had 3 or 4 players around the ball, the Athlone player on the ball. So they did defend really well. I think in terms of the overall performance, I think now we'll be very happy. There was some very good performances. Alex Kavanagh, it was like night and day. Like she didn't have a great game against Bows, but then she was brilliant against Athlone. You know, and even Shauna Fox at the back, she's been absolutely brilliant for them and really improved. I thought her distribution and movement around the pitch was very good. And, you know, in terms of, you know, there obviously has to be 2 complaints. Well, it wouldn't be me if I wasn't complaining about Chelsea, but I think they probably overplayed at times a little bit. And then I'd say when they look back on it in terms of the amount of the chances they had, 2 goals out of all the chances they had, they'd probably be looking to convert a bit more. But overall, a very good performance from them.
Yeah, and I thought Jess as well, she had a great game on Saturday, and obviously, you know, she's gone to West Ham in the summer. How big of a loss do you think is that going to be for Shells?
Yeah, I think she looked like she was playing with the weight off her shoulders. You know, even last season she had a bit of an injury, but I've always thought that Jess maybe carries a bit of extra pressure, and I suppose that comes with being a talented player. I wouldn't know much about that, but yeah. She, you know, she has that kind of expectation of always looking at her and people saying, you know, when is she going to go away? So it was like on Saturday, she just played with no pressure, and it was brilliant to see. I was delighted for her. In terms of the loss to Shells, of course it'll be a loss. It's bittersweet for them. And I think everyone at the club that I've chatted to is just so happy for her. She's a great player, a great person, and a great family. So all in all, it'll be a big loss. But like Shells, that's the nature of what they do. Like Katie McCabe left, she was replaced by Leanne. Leanne went on to West Ham, replaced by Jess. We've got Abby Larkin and Leo O'Leary now, and I watched the under-17s 2 weeks ago, and there's some serious talent coming through there. So if I was defenders at other clubs, I wouldn't be breathing a sigh of relief, because there's more to come. But it's great for Jess. I'm delighted for her, and I think West Ham have got themselves a gem.
Yeah, 100%. Finally, at Dalymount Park, Wexford came away with the win 3-0 against Bohemians. Alanna, what was it in the end, do you think, that just got Wexford the win?
Yeah, I thought Ciara Roster was phenomenal herself, and Abby Brophy's battle there was really interesting, like, because obviously Abby has the pace to burn, but Ciara was just smart too, and personally she would have been my player of the match, like, gonna go an assist, and she was just consistently trying to get things going from there. On Saturday she was just stand out. But on from that, then I suppose obviously it wouldn't be a weekend in the Women's National League if Ella Malloy didn't have a screamer. She's proven again that no one's safe, even from 30 yards. She's just such a talent, and a bit like Jessie there, like, we're just so lucky to be able to watch her in the league. I suppose then, yeah, Kylie was brilliant too. She had that touch of class, but you also had the debuts, Cleena Donnelly, Becky Watkins and Grace Fitzpatrick Ryan for Wexford. So, you know, they're blooding a bit of new talent too. And although I think youths always felt kind of in control, Bows did have a few patches of kind of attacking prominence. Ciara Betts-Crosby, Chloe Darby and Erica Burke were quite good for them, earning Maeve Williams that Team of the Week spot. So yeah, a great performance for Wexford, and they're finally looking forward to playing at home next weekend.
Yeah, I thought Wexford were absolutely brilliant at Dalymount. I really thought they controlled the game really well. And I think Bows, like, it was really just the mistakes that got them in the end, I think. And that's definitely something for them to work on next week. But you brought up Ella Malloy's goal there as well. And my final question to you both is, what was your favourite goal from match week 3? And Sean, I'll start with you.
Yeah, for me, I suppose I'm a fan of the team goal, so I couldn't pick one, so I went with 2. I think Shell's second goal was excellent. You know, Pearl Slattery starting the move and assisting Kiva Keenan, who came back from injury, but it was just a great move in terms of the passing and movement off the ball. Noelle's little step over, and then the second one for me would be Galway's goal. I thought it was very good again. The the movement of the ball, Julianne Russell, the creativity from her, and then the cross from Lindsay, back post header from Eva Thompson. You know, I just thought they were two brilliant goals in terms of it shows the quality that the league has now in terms of those goals and the movement and passing. It's not just all about the screamers.
Yeah, no, they were two great team goals. And Alanna, what about you?
Yeah, maybe it's a witness bias, but I'm going to go with the Malloy one. I think it was just spectacular, and I thought it was brilliant, especially because I suppose it set things up for Wexford, where a lot of people were kind of thinking, geez, maybe this was one for an upset kind of way. If we're going to, I think the McGuinness goal, you can't look by it passion-wise. As I said, what it meant to them, and a first ever team goal in the league, and also set them on their way to the win. So I think, that one was brilliant too.
Yeah, brilliant. Well, thanks for joining me today for Series 3, and I'll speak to you about soon.